Okay, I should call this series what Mike found in his room while he was cleaning. Okay, this, believe it or not, is an electronic gym. Okay, what we have here is a unit with two 9-volt batteries in it. We have electrodes, and you would use these pads and you would put them on your muscles. And what you do is turn this up, and it would indeed contract your muscles and exercise them. Now, I can almost guarantee you that these are all fitness models, and they never used the thing except for the duration of the photographs. But why in the world did I buy this years and years ago? Well, I think I bought it as a backup for a TENS unit. Okay, let's talk about what a TENS unit is. A TENS unit is a transepidural neurostimulator, and it's used to control pain, and it can be very effective at controlling pain. Well, one thing you learn using a TENS unit is by the time you turn it up to a point where it contracts the muscles, that's generally a very, very unpleasant feeling. So I can't imagine actually using this to exercise your muscles with. Now, I guess I could see maybe it could have some medical use for someone who is unable to contract some of their muscles. Maybe, I don't know, I can't imagine maybe someone in a wheelchair that has lost the use of their legs and their legs are starting to atrophy. Would this indeed exercise their muscles enough to keep their muscles into some sort of size? I'm not sure. Supposedly, and of course this could just be a gimmick thing, that, and he might have been doing it for a product endorsement, but supposedly Bruce Lee used something like this on his abs. But you know, like I say, I can almost guarantee you this guy didn't get this way from using this product. And it's funny, this is done in a period where let's see if we can find a year on this. Women's bodybuilding has progressed, and it's interesting that they're showing a model here with no abs, no ab muscles. So as a fitness model, when this was filmed, when this was photographed, they obviously couldn't find, or there weren't available, a fitness model that actually, a female fitness model that actually had abdominal muscles that were well defined. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking through here for a year, but of course I'm not going to find it. Here's some placement they've got on you know, different areas of your muscles. Oh, of course, you know, I can't sorry, but I can't imagine what this would feel like on your butt. You know, that would be very unpleasant, I think. But anyway, there it is. Gym form 4, the 4 because it had 4 electrodes, I believe. But, and look, it still works. There's some batteries in there. I don't know if you can see the light come on in this light, outdoor light conditions. Yeah. But so, but now we could talk about TENS unit a little bit. You have these different factors: the pulse, the length of the pulse, and the interval of the pulse. So here you have the strength of the pulse you can vary. You have the length of the pulse, and you have the interval between the next pulses. Now, a lot of TENS units now today that you purchase will just have a setting that says back, or wrists, or legs, or something like that, and you just put it on that setting. But most of them will go into a manual mode where you can set all these things. Of course, you're not turning knobs, you're pushing a button and setting them. But most TENS units, at least the expensive ones, can all be run manually. Now, what's also happened, as I pointed out if you watched my videos about TENS units now, is TENS units now, instead of costing, the one I have cost $750, and was well worth it, I think. for what it was able to do for me. I had an extremely bad shoulder injury from work, and it allowed me to control the pain without being drugged up. Okay? Now they have TENS units you can buy over the counter that are $60. And there's even one that's like looks like it's a patch that you buy, and you just peel it off and stick it on your back, and it's like $40. And my only thought about those is, the better TENS units have removable patches, like this gym unit does. So I would investigate when you decide to purchase, if you do decide to purchase a TENS unit for chronic pain management, or they really work well on Charley horses. I went through a period of having sleep problems, and when I have sleep problems, I get really, really bad Charley horses in my legs. And I found that using them was good afterwards, during the Charley horse, but also I could tell usually beforehand that my legs were getting to the point where I was going to have a Charley horse that night, and they would wake me up in the middle of the night in an ungodly amount of pain. And so I would take my TENS unit on, I would put it on the area where I knew the Charley horse was most likely to make its appearance, his surprise guest appearance, and I would put it on for half an hour, and that would prevent the Charley horse from coming. So TENS units can really be great. Now, TENS units too, I got to mention that some people can't stand them. And insurance companies were really kind of anti-TENS units for a while because people would buy them, not use them. And I guess they saw them as kind of expensive to operate because you had to buy these patches. Well, now, with the advent of the internet, I got a huge pack of patches for less than what I would have to spend for 4 patches at my local medical supply company. So now if you go to the internet, the cost of the patches for a unit that takes this pin type, the cost of patches becomes almost insignificant. But they would rent the TENS units out to people first, in other words, and see if the people could bear using them, because of course, and I completely agree with that. I mean, why have an insurance company foot a bill for $750 on something that you can't stand to use? And there were some days, I'll tell you, that the TENS unit would just give me the creeps and I couldn't wear it. But other days, my goodness, you could put that thing on, turn it on, and it would turn off the pain. So TENS units can be really amazing. It depends. It's very variable how well they work. That's another reason I think the insurance companies had trouble with them. They can work one day, not the next, work on one person, not the other. But when they work, boy, do they work. But this isn't a TENS unit. Although I think I bought it because of the idea of thinking for a backup for my unit. If it was to break, I could dial this down enough, I think, to get it into the range where it would perform as a TENS unit rather than a somewhat, well, a highly uncomfortable muscle contractor.